Hi, welcome back to the Bulldog Blitz. I'm Marissa Johnson. We're now joined in studio by women's golf standout Michelle Nash. You've actually been on the show before, so thanks for being back with that.
Thank you for having me back.
No problem. So you're actually coming off of a match yesterday, a good performance, medalist honors, and actually you finished top 5 in all of the matches so far in the spring season. So what's been the key to your consistent performance?
I think the key to that has just been, well, I go into every tournament just wanting to do my best to help the team, and then as far as the individual performance, I just go in there thinking that I have a shot at winning every tournament, and it's just turned out that I've been able to finish top 5 every time, so it's just kind of one of those extra things, I guess, that goes with just trying to play well.
I mean, you mentioned, going in with the focus on the team. Well, the team's done well as well, I mean, too. And so what has been your focus and practice and through these tournaments? I mean, what's the goal for the team and what's the mindset going into all of these matches?
The goal is for each tournament, we kind of look at it as practice for conference. At the very beginning of the fall season, we make winning conference our goal. And so each time we go into a tournament, we kind of act as if it's a conference-like situation. And then we try not to get too frustrated if our performance isn't that great, and we just look at it as a way to improve for the next tournament and then ultimately get ready for conference.
And last time we talked to you, you guys were getting ready for the Memphis Invitational. And that was the end of your fall season. So talk a little bit about how you finished the fall season and went into, that break in between the two.
Yeah, I think we started off the Memphis tournament. The first couple rounds were pretty strong. We had 3 rounds there. I know I had my best round of the season that first round. And then I don't know if it kind of just fatigue set in, you just kind of mentally get tired, but I don't think we finished as strongly as we would have liked, so that was a little bit disappointing. So we kind of took a break mentally from golf, didn't really pick up club for a while. But then you kind of get into this different mindset during the off season. You look at how you performed and what you need to work on, and it gets tough because obviously we play outside, and living here in Indiana, you don't get to practice outside all the time. So we have the indoor hitting facility here on campus that we go to, and then there's a place not far where we can go and hit balls. And we have our 6 a.m. workouts Tuesdays and Thursday morning. And workouts, a lot of people are surprised, golf, how does workout help? But it really does. It makes you stronger physically and mentally. You do stuff in there that you might not want to do, but when you're out on the course, you think back and you're like, okay, well, I was in the weight room doing something I didn't want, so if I'm struggling out here, I can do the same. So it's just kind of getting focused and getting ready for the spring. So
how did you use that fall season and then that long break where it's conditioning and just continually hitting over and over? How did that help you prepare for the spring season?
Well, it kind of, during the off season, you start to kind of focus. You're not worried so much about score. You're worried about, well, maybe I can fix this in my swing, or I can work on this with my putting stroke. And from working out, you get stronger, and so that eventually that all adds up. And then I think one thing I tried to work on too over the off season was, once the spring started up, I tried to mentally convince myself that we hadn't taken that long of a break, that we had just taken a break from tournaments but not from golf. So I just tried to, whatever mindset I had in those first 5 tournaments in the fall, I just tried to keep it going in the spring.
Well, something must have worked, because to start off, you were in the USA Women's Invitational. The team finished a strong 2nd. So how important was that good start to the spring season?
I think that really helped. I mean, we were playing against all the teams were from the South. We had traveled the farthest to go down to that tournament. And I think going into it, we weren't worried about scores, because we figured, all these teams we're playing, they live down here, they've been playing. And so we were just focusing on good shots, and the result was some low scores. And we just carried that with us and kept it going, and we're like, hey, what we've worked on in the off season is starting to pay off, and we can do well this spring.
we've had nice weather, obviously, and then you guys have been down south as well. The Horizon League Championships take place in Florida. So, I mean, will that make an impact? Does that help just, setting yourself in kind of that climate and, getting used to that?
Yeah, it definitely helps. I mean, our spring break, we host 2 tournaments down in Florida, so it's nice to practice down there for a week. And then mentally, it's always nice to know when you look at the weather and you see that your tournament is going to be 70s or 80s and sunny, and you don't have to bundle up and try and play. So it definitely gives you a little jump start going into the tournament, knowing that you're going to have nice weather.
You've had a little bit of kind of a comeback mantra in a few of your invitationals, specifically the Benbow. You were tied for 20th after the first round and came back to finish in 5th. So, I mean, what kind of mindset do you have going into that second one? How do you make such a big turnaround?
That tournament, that first round, I started off, I was fine, and then those last few holes were they ended up being pretty much a disaster. But then, I don't know, I remember I went and I just worked and I practiced as soon as I finished, and I just tried to pick out from that, because I did start off that round well. I tried to figure out what I was doing well, even though the score didn't show such a great round. And then you have to force yourself to forget about it and just remember that, no one cares what you shot. They're all going to forget. And then I just think back, like, I know I can play better than this. And you just start off steady, just trying to hit fairways and greens and stay patient. And then eventually the putts will fall and it'll be a better round, and you forget about what you did the day before. So.
How big, I mean, obviously everyone's out there, playing individually, but the team scores matter too. I mean, your goal is for the team.
Yeah.
So how do you kind of balance between, doing your best and wanting to perform well? And even yesterday, 2 of you were the top 2 strokes apart.
Yeah.
So kind of how do you balance wanting your teammates to do well, but you wanting to do well as, better, essentially?
Right. It's definitely a unique opportunity that we have, because golf is an individual sport, but there's so much focus on the team when you're at this level. So especially come conference, for example, our goal is to go on to regionals, and you can't do that individually. You can only do it as a team. So I always look at doing my best to add to the team score, and whatever happens to me individually, I can't really control that, and it's just comes with it. So
you guys are about 3 weeks out from start of Horizon League Championship play. You have 1 invitational before that. So how important is that invitational, and what are your plans to kind of push yourself towards the championship season?
Yeah, that invitational, it's definitely going to be a good opportunity to get some good practice in. We get to play 3 rounds, we just found out, for that tournament. And there should be some good teams there. It's down at Indiana. So it's the last time to kind of really get focused and practice being in that tournament mentality. So I think the big thing with this next tournament is to really just try and focus on being like in the shot at that time. And if something does happen or goes wrong, that we learn how to kind of come back from it and get a quick turnaround. And then depending on that finish, I think just working a lot on short game and just trying to play as many holes as we can, since there is a little bit of a break between that tournament and conference. I think that'll help. As the reigning conference champions, do you feel like there's kind of a target on your back or a little extra pressure going into this year? I think so. I mean, maybe not so much from other people, but I think from ourselves, because we want to keep improving. But I think, I don't know, I kind of like being in that position, that being the team that people are chasing after and that they want to beat. So I think going into conference, you can't really worry about it. I mean, it doesn't matter what we've done all season. It's all about who can play well that week. So we kind of have to forget about what we've done in the past and all season really, and just focus on those 3 days. When you were with us last time, we talked about, your goals, team goals, and you mentioned earlier still conference championship. Are these still the main goals? Have they evolved any? Are you looking past the conference, or is
that, I mean, where are your goals at right now?
I think we still have to stay focused on conference as being our main goal right now, because like any sports, especially with golf, you never know what could happen. But then I think I really do believe that it is part of our goals to do well in regionals too. So,
as a senior, is there a little extra pressure? How are you taking in the moment? You know, in the last, hopefully not too soon end, but
I know.
How do you take that in?
It's going by so fast. I really can't believe how fast it's going by. And I just try to enjoy each tournament as it comes. And sometimes when I'm playing, I get a little ahead of myself, and I start thinking too much in the future. So I'm just trying to enjoy each round as it comes. And then I just really want to do well for my team this year, especially since we have 2 freshmen and then a junior, Julia Porter. I just want to do well for them and make sure we do well in conference, so that when I'm gone, they know what it's like, and they've been there and been to regionals, and they can keep doing it long after I'm gone. So,
has there been a favorite memory or moment?
Oh my gosh, I don't know. Honestly, the golf team, with the men's and the women's team, in the past years, everyone's always gotten along really well, but there's something about the teams this year. We've just become really good friends, and we hang out with each other all the time. So, I don't know. It's hard to pick just one thing, but I guess like every practice, everyone's focused, and we do our work and what needs to be done, but we just enjoy each other's company. And so I guess, it sounds cheesy, but every time we're together, it's just a good time. So
great. Well, best of luck to you and the
Thank you.
team. I know we're all pulling for you here.
No, thank you.
That's all the time we have this week for the Bulldog Blitz. We'll be back again next week. For Mallory Winters, I'm Marissa Johnson.